Gaurangi, start Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. One after the other, can you all sing Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Mataji. This is Shibhadrangi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Palvat.
Hare Krishna, Palvit.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Shibhadrangi.
Hare Krishna, Shubhadrangi Thai.
Hare Krishna, this is Gaurangi.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's Deepak.
Hare Krishna, Gaurangi.
Mataji, are we gonna all? Mataji, are we all gonna? Are we all gonna get a chance? Are we all gonna get a chance to do the Hare Krishna mantra?
Not individually, kids, because if we do that individually, we will run out of time, right, for other activities that we need to do. So I am gonna quickly share the slides with you. All right, awesome. All right, so Hare Krishna, kids, welcome to today's Damodar class. I'm so excited, as you are. Let's get started with today's class. You know the drill. We're gonna start with the Shri Guru Pranam Mantra. It's on your screen, and we're gonna do that together, followed by Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 11 times. All right, let's get started, kids.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Nande Bhakti Vedanta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Purabhane pracharine nirvishesha shunvadi Asyadope shatarine Hare Krishna Nityananda Shri
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna,
Awesome, kids. Wonderful. I know you like chanting. I could see that, right? How much you were enjoying. But now is the time to read the story. So, we are continuing with our Ramayan series. And the story we are continuing from yesterday, right? It is about when Bharat returns to Ayodhya. So anybody remembers what we did yesterday? You think, oh, but Mataji already told what we're going to do now. All right, I will continue from there. Yes, so you would have done, you have read about Bharat, what Bharat heard from the messenger and why he started back for Ayodhya, right? That's what you would have heard yesterday. Now, today's story is all about when Bharat is almost going to reach Ayodhya, what he's experiencing, what thought process he has in his mind while he's still approaching towards Ayodhya. And when he reaches Ayodhya, what's his experience? Again, the thought process, what's happening, the circumstances and everything. So what he's going through. So we're going to talk about all that in today's class. All right. So Bharat is actually traveling back to Ayodhya because he heard from the messenger that he should get back to Ayodhya ASAP. So he started for Ayodhya, and for almost 7 days, he and all the people who were there with him, they traveled toward Ayodhya. Bharat definitely wanted to reach there faster because he did not know why he's been called upon. He didn't know the reason, so he was very, very anxious because he wanted to find out what has happened in Ayodhya. And he was thinking, I'm sure something bad would have happened. That is why I've been called upon. But he did not know what actually has happened. So he really wanted to rush towards Ayodhya. But because he had like a lot of people with him, so all those people were kind of slowing him down. So he had to go with them. But he kept moving. When he finally approached the territory of Kaushal, Bharat actually urged to his charioteer to let him take home quickly or take to the castle quickly. Shatrughan was also there with him. So he he said that Shatrughan can come with the rest of the army, but I really want to rush to our home quickly so that I can find out what exactly has happened there. He finally arrived at Ayodhya, and from a distance itself, he could sense a lot of things that were not right about the place, right? He saw like it was pretty quiet. Usually people are singing, dancing, they are reciting, they are chanting. Brahmins are performing sacrifices, but he cannot hear any of that. Everything's been quiet. Animals are quiet. Nobody is moving around on the roads, and nobody has actually come out to greet him as well, right? So all the four brothers were very, very popular among the crowd there because they actually were taking good care of their people. So they were very, very popular, but none of them came to greet him. Everybody was in great distress, which Bharat didn't know, and he'll find out soon. So he kept moving, and he was getting more concerned because of looking at the situation everywhere. He had seen places where people would always be there in the gardens, around the trees, but he was just looking. Because his mental status was such that everything around him was so quiet. He is just trying to compare everything with his own thought process. So even those fallen leaves from the trees all around the place appeared to him that those are weeping, right, or crying. So he was thinking like that, but he rode quickly, and there are so many things that when you see around and you're like, okay, something bad would have happened. Like one of the example is crows and vultures were crying, right? They were crying loud. So they usually don't do that. And whenever they do it, people get skeptical about the situation. I was thinking sun was overlapped by dark clouds and there was a chill wind was blowing. So he was looking at all that, and everything seemed to him to be in the negative direction. Finally, he reached the city's western gate. Guards definitely greeted him, and they were very happy to see him. They welcomed him. But the prince, greeted them as well, and his mind was still very, very distracted. And he started speaking to himself again. Why was I asked to come here so quickly? What's going on? I'm sure something wrong has happened. So he immediately rushed towards Dashrath's palace. And one of the thoughts that was coming to his mind was that, is my father not alive anymore? What would have happened? Why I've been called upon, right? So all those bad thoughts are coming to his mind. And he was thinking, but Lord Ram and Lakshman are already there. So how could anything go wrong when, the kingdom is in the hands of such powerful rulers? So what can go wrong? He had all sorts of thoughts in his mind. Immediately he rushed towards the king's Dashrath's palace. And he could see on his way, he could see that houses were not cleaned properly. They were dirty. Doors were wide open. So nobody actually cared for what's going on, right? Everything was left the way it was from the day the incident had happened. There is no, usually he would smell the sweet aroma of aloe and sandalwood alongside the road, but he couldn't see any of that. People were wearing dirty clothes as if they have not eaten for days. So he is actually watching and observing every tiny detail when he's passing through, because everything is bringing so much of negativity. So he is quite sure something is happening. Okay, shops were closed, marketplaces were abandoned. temple had dusty courtyards, and deities didn't have the fresh garlands or dresses. So everything was wrong. He quickly rushed into his father's room, and then he was very, very shocked when he didn't see his father there. Didn't see his father there, so he was very surprised, and the ladies looked very sorrowful. They were crying. So his stomach actually sank. You know, when you had that kind of feeling, when you're scared, you're very anxious, you know something bad had happened. So that kind of feeling he was getting. He was very, very afraid that he didn't want to ask anybody what happened to my father. Is my father okay? Because he didn't see his father there in his chambers. He was so scared. He immediately rushed to Kaikai, his mother, and he paid his obeisances to his mother, like by touching her feet. And the mother was actually quite excited to. Kaikai was actually quite excited to see Bharat, and she, instead of talking about anything else, she just started asking him questions about his journey and whether he was treated well when he stayed with his grandfather or uncle, and all that kind of stuff. She started saying she missed him, but she was just completely focused on asking him how he is, because she was very, very excited that her son is back and now he can rule the country. So that's the only focus she had in her mind. And she thought that what she did was right. But she didn't realize that Bharat definitely is not going to like that. So Bharat actually heard all those questions. His mind was not what's set right, but he heard the questions because it was her mother. He did answer all the questions as well. And after responding to all her questions, he asked, "How's that? I do not see my father seated here with you. Where is he? I want to touch his feet and take his blessings. Or is he at Mother Kaushalya's apartment? So where exactly he is?" But Kekai was still in that same illusion. She's just excited seeing his son becoming the king of the kingdom. She told her that told her that your high-souled and glorious father, who was always there as a shelter for every living being in our kingdom, has attained the state of gods. So she was so comfortable breaking this news to her son. And now she says, "No, you know, this whole kingdom is all yours. You have to rule this kingdom." Bharat was shocked. He just couldn't believe what he heard, and more specifically from his own mother. He fell on his knees and he started crying. He started crying out loud. He said, "I'm ruined. What am I going to do without my father? He's been there with me all the time while I was growing up. He taught me so many things. I just cannot do anything without him. What happened to my father?" He was just asking all those kind of questions, and he was devastated totally. So when the mother Kekai saw his son like that, she just kept on consoling him, telling him that now you're the king. How can you behave like that? You're the king. You have to rule the country. You have to take care of people. So you have to be very calm and focused. You can't break down like that. So Bharat was totally broken. He was just not able to speak. He was remembering all the good days he had with his father. And he was still thinking that he came here because he pretty much knew that Lord Ram is going to be the king because he was a crown prince. So he didn't see anything going wrong, but he's like, okay, I don't see my father. My father is gone. I don't even see my brother Ram here or Lakshman here. So what is happening? He was very, very confused. And he started asking his mother that when Ram, Lakshman, they all were here, at least they were here with my father when all this happened. They are at least fortunate enough that they were there with him at that time, which he didn't realize that they are not there anymore. And he's telling his mother that please let my brother Ram know that I'm here now. And I wanted to understand what my father said as his last words to my brother. I want to hear it all because I do not know what happened. I wasn't here. So Keke started replying to her son, telling him what exactly has happened. And Lord Ram, along with Lakshman and Sita, had to go to exile to the forest for almost 14 years. And Bharat was quite, sorry, I'm so, wrong slide. All right, sorry. Yeah, so Bharat was quite surprised with this. He started thinking that Ram, who is so composed, he was a crown prince, everybody liked him. What could have gone wrong that he's been asked to go to the forest for 14 years, right? He started thinking like that. It is just not possible. What crime would he have committed? He could never do any such thing. With those kind of thoughts in his mind, he's just going through a lot of emotions right now. And what happens next is what we will see in our next class. This is where we end today's story. Kids, do you want to share any thoughts? Anything that you want to talk about?
Mataji, can I say something?
Kids, please raise your hands, okay? All right, let me start with Shamla. Do you want to go first?
Yes, Mataji, it's Deepak and Kaushi. So,
Oh, you change your name, Deepak. Come on, you're confusing me today. All right, go ahead.
so so Bharata was confused, where is my brother and where is my father? So Queen Kaikai knew that his father passed away, but she didn't want him to know, or else she knew that if he came to know, he wouldn't want to be the king. So that's why Kaikai didn't want to tell him. But if Kaikai told him, Bharata wouldn't have not got very very bad feelings. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Deepak.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's Kaushi. Can I go?
Yes, Kaushiki, go ahead.
If Mother Kaikai, if Mother Kausalya told
Bharat?
Bharat that his father passed away, Bharat would be so sad, so she didn't want to tell him. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
That is right, as a mother, right? Thank you, Kaushiki, for sharing your thoughts. All right, Palvit, do you want to go next?
Bharat had
so
much
affection for everybody, but his mother didn't knew that.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
All right, thank you, Palvit. That was a beautiful point. Thank you. All right, Shubhadra.
No, Kaushi, that's house. Stop.
Shubhadra and Girdhari, you want to go now? Or I'll come back to you. Mathili, do you want to go now?
Bol.
When Ram and Sita and Lakshman, they was going for to the forest for in the forest for 14 days.
Years.
Years. Then then Dasharat, his father, then he was very sad that he's going to 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 the forest. Then because they are very dear to him.
Yeah, that is right. Thank you. Thank you, Mathili, for sharing your thoughts. Right, Livon, you next.
So Ram, Lakshman and Sita went to the forest for 14 years because Kaiki sent them, and once they went away, Dasharatha wanted them to stay one more day longer, but they wouldn't listen because they were listening to Queen Kaiki's instructions. So Dashrath was so sad that he died and remembered the time when he killed a boy, and the boy was a sage's son, and that's why, and the sages cursed him to die when his son would be in desire. Thank you, Mataji.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Livon, for connecting the dots, right? Both the stories. Thanks for sharing that. Gorangi, you next.
Mataji, can we go after? Thank you, Mataji.
You're back, okay. Yeah, Gorangi.
So Mataji, I led in the story. So Mataji, we should let Rama and Lakshmana Sita was in the forest, but Dasharatha was waiting to come to his home, and Rama went alone with his parents. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Gorangi. All right, yeah. Girdhari, Shubhatra, do you want to go now?
Yeah, Mataji.
Yes,
Mataji. Mataji, can my sister go?
So when Bharata came to Ayodhya, when he came back to Ayodhya, then he was worried about Ram and Lakshman because they weren't there, and Bharata's mothers told him what happened, and then he was worried about Lord Ram and Lakshman because he also wanted to take care of them.
Right. Thank you, Shubhatra.
Mataji, can I say Mataji now?
Yes, Girdhari.
Mataji, I think the moral of the story is that when Bharata came to Ayodhya, and when his mother told that Rama is gone and to the forest and vanished, then Bharata, I think he loves his brother Rama so much that he has excess love for Rama than his mother. So that means that when Kaikeyi made the decision that Rama has to go to the forest, after that Mataji, Bharata does not like that incident, so he's unhappy about this.
That is right. Thank you, Girdhari. Good point. All right, Janvi.
Bharat has a lot of affection for Rama and Lakshman because they're his brother. And did you find out that what your favorite character is in Ramayan yet?
Okay. Is that all?
Did you figure out your favorite character in Ramayan now?
The character what?
In Ramayan,
Yeah.
who's your favorite character?
You kids, you ask me such questions that I'm like, oh gosh, what to answer? There's so many, yeah, so I think we talked about it earlier. We're running out of time, but I'll quickly answer that. There so many characters I like in Ramayana. Lord Ram, we all worship, of course, but everybody like Lakshman to Sita to Bharat, everybody. I think when we read this story further, right, you will see how Bharat has carried out his duties in the absence of Lord Ram, how he took care of the kingdom in the absence in the absence of Lord Ram. So there's so many beautiful aspects of everybody. Everybody is so good. I wouldn't say everybody, and I think even Kaikai or Mantra, whatever they have done, I think we talked about it earlier, right? Why Kaikai and Mantra had to do this so that Lord Ram can go to the forest and Lord Ram can reach Ravan. All these incidents happened. If they wouldn't have happened, Lord Ram could never reach Ravan, right? So I would say everybody had a role to play. Most of the characters are my favorite because they all are very strong characters, and they played their part or their duties so well. So it's difficult for me to pick one. I know you asked for one, but it's a difficult answer. All right, kids, moving on to Shita. What do you have to say?
Wanna go later? Sorry, Mataji, can she go later?
Yeah, no rush, Mataji. That's all right. Let them take time. So, all right, kids, with that, we wrap up the story.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's Deepak. Can I say one more point?
Deepak, yes, quickly. Okay.
Like in Dasharatha, he had to take a lot of pain to let Rama go to the forest, just like in when Arjuna had to take a lot of pain to try to kill his brothers. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. All right, kids. So we're moving on, but I just wanted to add one point. And I think we were talking about just now when you asked me who's your favorite character and things like that. We learn from this, right? Isn't that everybody's playing their part? Everybody's so dutiful about their things. So anything that comes in our lives as well, for us as well, right? Anything comes in our life, we should not be complaining about this. Why is this happening to me and all that kind of stuff? Why I have to study? And I would say, why I have to work, right? So we should not be complaining about that. Problems come in life and they are there for a reason. Maybe Lord wants us to learn something. Maybe that is the path for us to go to the Lord, back to Godhead, right? So that is a very good teaching from this, that everything happens for a reason. We should be able to accept that and move forward, right? All right, kids, with that, I'm going to move on to Anjana Gopika Mataji is going to say, you're going to take my time every single time. Never mind. Hare Krishna Mataji, over to you. It's Bhagavad Gita script time.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
This is Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Rish.
Hare Krishna.
Rish?
Okay, we'll learn the sloka, okay, today. You know, we're learning yesterday's sloka. Okay, we learn the sloka. Okay, now you all can repeat after me. Ragadvaisa vimukstaistu
Ragadvesha vimukhtaistu.
Ragadvaisa vimukstaistu
Ragadvesha vimukhtaistu.
Visayanindriyasaran Visayanindriyasaran Ragadvaisa vimukstaistu Visayanindriyasaran Atma Vaishyer Videyatma Atma Vaishyer Videyatma Prasadam Adhigacchati
Prasadam adhigacchati.
Prasadam Adhigacchati Ragadvaisa vimukstaistu Visayanindriyasaran Atma Vaishyer Videyatma Atma Vaishyer Videyatma Prasadam Adhigacchati Prasadam Adhigacchati Prasadam Adhigacchati Prasadam Adhigacchati Ragadvaisa vimukstaistu Visayanindriyasaran Atma Vaishyer Videyatma Atma Vaishyer Videyatma Prasadam Adhigacchati Okay, last time. Okay. Ragadvaisya vimukstaistu Visayanindriyasaran Atma Visayer Videyatma Prasadam Adhigacchati Okay, last time. Ragadvaisa vimukstaistu Visayanindriyasaran Atma Vaishyer Videyatma Prasadam Adhigacchati Okay, last time and you can all say. Okay, Ragadvaisya vimukstaistu Visaya Indriyaisaran. Atma Vaishya Videyatma. Prasadam Harigachyati. Okay, you all can say 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
Prasadam Adhigachati.
Okay, again you can go.
Again.
Thank you one more time. And then we can go to the so much. You all are doing so nice. Great job. Mataji will teach you the Devanagari.
Thank you, Mataji.
Ready, Mataji.
All right. Mataji, do we need to move to the break room before we start?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can we move to the breakout? Mataji, is that fine? It's
That's what I was-
three
Mataji.
minutes only there.
That's exactly what I was asking, Mataji. Let's move to the breakout room.
Oh, you were asking. I could not hear this. Vrunda was screaming.
No
Sorry.
problem. Yeah, let's do that, Mataji, so that
Yeah.
we don't have to break it in between.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
So now, kids, please go to the breakout. If there is anybody remaining that could not go, I can put them again back.